What does the EY online assessment look like, and how can you pass it? You'll find out in this video. The EY online assessment is the second step in the EY recruitment process. First step is application. When applying to EY, you'll either upload your resume or complete an application form on their website. Second, as I mentioned, is the online assessment. You'll be invited to take the test either online or at an EY office. The test can come up in different formats, including an aptitude test, a written test, and even a game-based assessment. Third is a job simulation. Expect workplace scenario questions in various formats such as video, Q&A, multiple choice, etc. Next up is the Assessment Center, also known as the EY Experience Day. This event, which is mostly virtual these days, involves activities like group exercises and case studies. Finally, there's the final interview. This involves one or more interviews with senior EY representatives. Going back to the online assessment, keep in mind that each EY office actually has its own recruitment format. However, you'll likely encounter a mix of different test formats in most offices. For example, when you're invited for the online assessments in the UK, they often use Seville assessment tests. One of our MCO alumni said he was invited for the higher view tests. So, like I mentioned, this can change depending on where you take your tests. Another thing to note is that the assessments you'll take may also depend on the specific role you're applying for. So it's a good idea to ask about the test publisher and the specific assessments you'll face. This way you can be fully prepared for your tests. As previously mentioned, you'll likely face a mix of different question types in these assessments. They could be simple multiple choice questions or a case study. In the case study format, you'll need to show off your skills by answering questions based on different source materials provided as part of the assessment. You're likely to come across the following types of assessment questions, no matter the format: numerical reasoning test, verbal reasoning test, situational judgment test or SJT, and logical reasoning test. Let's go over each type of question. Numerical reasoning test. In the numerical reasoning portion, you will be provided data, graphs, or charts. Typically, you'll have more or less 15 questions to answer within a limited amount of time. You can use a calculator, but still check with your office recruiter. Be sure to read the information slowly and pay close attention to the titles and labels provided. If you move too quickly, you may make a mistake. Here's an example of a numerical reasoning question. A pizza restaurant wants to offer its food via delivery. The pizzas can stay at the optimal temperature for no longer than 20 minutes. The speed limit in the city is 30 miles per hour. What is the maximum delivery radius to ensure the pizzas arrive at the optimal temperature? A, 8 miles, B, 10 miles, C, 15 miles, or D, 20 miles. Just like you would in a consulting case interview, start by determining the equation you want to solve for. For this problem, you want to use the distance equals rate times time formula. We are trying to solve for distance. The rate is 30 miles per hour. The time is 20 minutes. We want to convert these values to have the same unit of measurement. 30 miles per 60 minutes is the same as 30 miles per hour. 20 minutes is the same as 1/3 hours. Let's use hours. 30 miles per hour times 1/3 hours equals 10 miles. The maximum delivery radius is 10 miles. The correct answer is B. It's helpful to familiarize yourself with basic formulas like this. Another common one might be net present value. Here's another sample question from Seville assessment. Choices are 66.7 million, 65.7 million, 64.5 million, 63.8 million, and 62.1 million. Pause the video now and try to solve this. All right, we're back. To solve this, calculate the total number of mobile phone video viewers in 2013. Mobile phone video viewers 2013 times 7/6 equals 76.7 million. Mobile phone video viewers 2013 equals 76.7 million times 6/7 is 65.7 million. Thus, the correct answer is B, 65.6 million. My advice for you to pass this section is to solve math problems before taking the test. You can use an app called Elevate. The next type of question is the verbal reasoning test. In the verbal reasoning section, you will be provided a series of passages to read. You'll be asked questions about these passages. The answers include true, false, and cannot say. You must only refer to the information in the passage to inform your answer. Exclude personal knowledge or opinions and simply focus on the paragraph you just read. Keep in mind that true statements must be fully supported by the text. Statements can be false if they are not fully supported by the text. If the text is inconclusive, you should select cannot say. Here's a sample verbal reasoning question from Seville assessment. Pride and Prejudice is a novel of manners written by Jane Austen and first published in 1813. The story follows the main character, Elizabeth Bennet as she deals with issues of manners, upbringing, morality, education, and marriage in the society of the landed gentry of the British Regency. Elizabeth is the second of 5 daughters of a country gentleman, Mr. Bennet, living in Longbourn. Set in England in the 19th century, Pride and Prejudice tells the story of Mr. and Mrs. Bennet's 5 unmarried daughters after the wealthy and eligible Mr. Bingley and his status-conscious friend, Mr. Darcy, have moved into their neighborhood. While Bingley takes an immediate liking to the eldest daughter, Jane, Darcy has difficulty adapting to local society and repeatedly clashes with the second eldest daughter, Elizabeth. Pride and Prejudice retains a fascination for modern readers, continuing in the top lists of most loved books. It has become one of the most popular novels in English literature, selling over 20 million copies and receiving considerable attention from literary scholars. Modern interest in the book has resulted in a number of dramatic adaptations and an abundance of novels and stories imitating Austen's memorable characters or themes. Question. Statement. Jane Bennet is the eldest daughter of Elizabeth. Options. True, false, cannot say. The correct answer is true. Bingley takes on the liking of the eldest daughter, Jane. Therefore, we can conclude that the eldest sister of Elizabeth is indeed Jane. The next type of question is the logical reasoning test. Logical reasoning tests assess your problem-solving and decision-making skills. They focus on your ability to interpret, analyze, and draw conclusions from given information. These tests are all about making logical connections between data sources. Logical reasoning is an umbrella term for 3 different types of tests. Deductive reasoning. These are word-based problems. You'll be given a short paragraph of text and some possible answers. Based on the information provided, only one answer can be correct, and you need to apply logic to deduce which one. Inductive reasoning. Unlike deductive reasoning, in these tests you'll be asked to identify the next probable item in a sequence. You'll need to identify how shapes or images relate to each other in pattern to predict what comes next. Diagrammatic reasoning. These present a visual problem and ask you to draw conclusions about its logic. For example, you might be presented with a diagram with inputs and outputs and asked to determine which operator logically completes the process. Or you'll get the input and operator and have to determine the output, like the example below. Pause this video and come up with your answer. We're back. To work out these types of tests, always look at the parts that are already complete. For example, if we look at the downward arrow in the image above, this shows that PSTD, modified by the heart symbol, flips the letters to read the other way around. If we apply that logic in the other completed part, we can assume that ABCF is flipped by the heart modifier to FCBA. So then it's followed by a star modifier to give it FCBAA. This means the star modifier adds another of the final letter in the sequence. Putting this information into the unsolved part, we get the following. RLZF modified by the heart gives us FZLR. FZLR modified by the star gives us FCLRR. FCLRR modified by the star gives us FCLRRR. So the final answer is FCLRRR. The last type of test is the situational judgment test. Situational judgment tests use scenario-based questions to probe how you would behave in hypothetical workplace situations. You usually answer these questions by ranking the answers from your most likely response, 1, to the least likely, 5. Here's an example of a situational judgment question. Alex and Brad are new hires and have been staffed on the same case together with a manager named Kelly. Every time Brad meets with Kelly, she voices valid complaints about how Brad's work doesn't meet the standards and isn't meeting deadlines. Brad seems like a nice guy, but he's overwhelmed. What should Alex do? A. Alex should focus on his own performance. It's his first case and he hasn't proven himself yet. Even though he has some free time, if he takes on too much, he may get overwhelmed too. B. Alex should invite Brad out for dinner so they can vent about their challenges working with Kelly. Brad will appreciate the friendship. C. Alex should privately chat with Kelly and offer to stay late to train Brad. This may not get the work done in time, but Brad will learn some skills. D. Alex should just offer to do Brad's work for him because otherwise Brad will be reprimanded. In the end, all that matters is that the work gets done and that the client is happy. Pause this video and come up with your answer. We're back. Upon reading, C sounds like the best answer and B sounds like the worst. but let's do our due diligence and go choice by choice. Choice A, while it's important to individually perform well, what matters most is the team's performance. Choice B, while this may seem like an easy and fun approach, it doesn't help solve the problem. Brad will still be struggling at work, and it's unethical to gossip behind your boss's back. Choice C, investing in your teammates' growth is a sign of leadership. Although it's important for the work to get done, it's more important that Brad has the skills and confidence to improve. Making your manager aware is also a good step. Choice D, this is the classic feed a man, he eats for a day. Teach a man to hunt, he eats for a lifetime. Brad needs to be self-sufficient in order to be a productive teammate. Plus, he may not appreciate you taking over his responsibilities. C is the best course of action. A, B, and D all sound like bad approaches, but it's up to you to decide which is the worst. In my opinion, it's B. The problem remains unsolved, and you have potentially created a bigger problem of gossip in the workplace. My tip for you to pass this section is to make sure you check out EY's firm values and leverage those to make your decisions. So there you have it, everything you need to know about the EY online assessment. And if you're taking an online assessment like the EY online assessment, I'd like to help you. Comment down below the firm and the test that you will take, and I will share with you some useful resources to pass it. For example, you can put down EY online assessment if that is your upcoming online assessment. My team and I are former consulting recruiters and interviewers who help applicants land interviews, prepare for any assessments like the EY online assessment, and pass the interview so that they land their consulting offer. To date, we have a 90% success rate. That means 9 out of 10 applicants who work with us land at least one offer, and we've helped over 800 people already land a consulting job. If you are serious about becoming a management consultant and want to hear how we can help you, click on the link below to book a call with my team to find out more. Booking this call could put you one step closer to landing your offer at EY and other management consulting firms. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear it from Christian. Christian got an offer from EY Parthenon despite having a low GPA and coming from a non-business background. I'll link to his videos somewhere beside me. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.